Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. So this is a really quick reading because I was getting itchy and needed to do a story time reading. It's like there was a message that wanted to come through, so here I am. I'm sorry about the terrible lighting and my unpainted nails. I wasn't expecting to do this reading. It's quite late, so you've got my shadow bobbing around, which I think, again, anything that happens in a reading is kind of significant to the reading. This idea of the shadow bobbing around. Maybe you've been catching shadows out of the corner of your eyes. Maybe you feel like you've been visited by your ancestors. I have the feeling of closure with probably a family member or just a person who I feel has passed on. I feel like there could have been a cremation, or you could have done some kind of ritual to let go of this relationship. Maybe this person's still alive, but you've ritually kind of burnt photos or given some of their things away or something like that, and then coming to peace with this. So this is kind of the overview of what's going on. Now, the really interesting thing is this is coming out of Pisces' reading, and in Pisces' reading, I got the name Joyce, which was my grandma's name. So I actually went and pulled out a really embarrassing picture, actually, of me as a little girl. Yeah. I don't know what's up with my cheeks. I did have, like, I don't know, maybe mumps or something, or I don't know. But yeah, I look a little bit poorly on that picture. But this is my granny. So this is Joyce. And yeah, we had a little bit of a tricky relationship for a couple of different reasons. But you know, she did love me, so that's good. And you know, she did comfort me in the way that she thought was best. So like me, there could be somebody from your past who, and again, my grandma passed away quite a long time ago, so this doesn't have to be recent, like the death card isn't here, but again, it feels more like closure. So again, it could be like a relationship with a family member where you just didn't quite click, or something happened to you and maybe this person didn't deal with it in the way that you needed it to be dealt with, right? It's like they dealt with it in their own way that they thought was best, but perhaps that wasn't what was best for you. It could be something like that. But either way, whatever's closing out for you, there is definitely something closing, because the first card that we start with, which I want to say is identifying you, because it's the first card, is this Ten of Fire. Now, it always talks to me about, like, I don't know, burning contracts or burning old photos. The Ten of Fire it's a completion card, tens are always about completion. And it normally talks about, because it's the Ten of Wands, it's like heavy burdens, something that's been a burden for you for a very long time. Could be talking about a lot of responsibilities, you know, responsibilities that were put upon your shoulders perhaps from this relationship with this other person. You know, you took on a lot of the responsibilities for their care, perhaps if they needed a little bit of help with care. But it's talking to me about again, it's almost like some kind of ritual, because I'm just seeing like this card and this card, and then it's like this Five of Earth. It's almost like going through their things, right? Going through the things and throwing things away, sending things to charity, I don't know, burning paperwork in a safe way, you know, like in those like it's like a compost bin, but you can burn stuff in it like in your garden. So again, it's got this feeling of like clearing out, I don't know, sorting through their things, going through their things, packing stuff in boxes, you know, asking yourself, do I really need to cling on to these memories, or is it time for me to let these go? So again, if it's an old relationship, it's like, I don't know, burning the love letters or something like that, you know, to really bring yourself that sense of closure. But really, I'm mostly getting just sorting through the stuff, deciding what you want to keep, what you want to send to charity, you know, going through the home or something like this. And then it's got this feeling of like, it's like almost not wanting to be seen doing this, because this closing door. So this is another card that tells me about, I mean, you've got the Ten of Fire followed by closing door, so, and the World cards here as well. So there's absolutely something that's completing, there's absolutely some kind of cycle that's closing out for you. Something is ending, right? Completion. So it's like you've completed this task, you've completed this this job that you needed to do, you've completed this cycle that you've been going through. It's like it's about to close, you're almost done. But again, it's got this thing, because you've got the Witness here and the Observer. And then this cat in the reverse with this, like, it's like the third eye's lit up. It's like not wanting to be seen doing this, like not wanting to be observed, perhaps because it is bringing up a lot of emotions for you, perhaps because, or even the opposite, perhaps because you're doing it in a very efficient way, and you don't want people to think that you're being cold-hearted as you kind of get rid of stuff. You just have this feeling of like wanting to do it behind closed doors. But what I'm getting, and it's a very specific situation, so I don't think it's for everybody, but it's like being behind this door, right? Burning, I don't know, being in your house, burning, I don't know, old letters or old photos, right? Just in your kitchen, like burning photos on the stove or something like that. But it's like it is being seen, right? You don't want to be seen. You're doing something that's quite private to you, but you don't want to be seen. But it's like somebody notices, right? It's like a neighbor perhaps who's out looking at the moon, sees this fire is the way it's coming through, or it's like you're in the garden, you've got a bonfire, something like that. So it's like somebody sees this fire is the way it's coming through. It's like it is being witnessed. So I don't know if there's like, the police turn up at your door with the legal eagle. It's like the police come around and say, is everything okay here? You need a license for that bonfire. Something like that is the way it's coming through. It's like the authorities turning up because you were witness, something like that. So again, it could just be that you are doing some gardening, because this is sort of looking to me like out in the garden, right? Pulling out the weeds, chopping back dead branches, and then kind of like burning them on the bonfire is the way it's coming through. So some of you, it's like doing stuff in the garden. And again, it could be both. It could be you've been doing gardening work, kind of burning all the dead branches away, having a bit of a bonfire. While you've got it, you start to throw away, old letters or photos, something like that. It could be, both. So just take that as it resonates and leave it if it doesn't. It's not going to be everybody's reading, but it's the message that's coming through. So this cat spirit in the reverse, it says, claim your independence. So I feel with it being in the reverse, it's almost like for some reason you felt like you couldn't have independence from this. Again, this could be with the 10 of fire being like heavy responsibilities, taking on a lot of burdens upon your own shoulders. It could be that this person was very ill and you felt like you always had to be on call, right? You always had to be close by to go and check on them, or you had to be a carer or something like this. So it's like I didn't have freedom, I didn't have independence because I was tied to these responsibilities. But again, seems to be closing. So take that as it resonates, leave it if it doesn't. Maybe this person has a cat, I don't know. I'm going to flip it in the upright, but again, it's like this third eye on it as well. So then going over to this observer and the witness, it's actually, before I go to that, let me just go to open just to kind of cover that one. So this open card, it's looking to me a little bit like, maybe you were out in the garden and you were, I don't know, you had a bonfire, you were burning letters, something like this, and it starts raining, right? And it's like, it's either something like you're doing yard work and then going having a shower, right, and washing the dirt away, washing the residue of the ashes. It's like washing the ashes away. It could be that you've just cremated this person as well. Like, my condolences if you are going through that. But I have to just read the cards, so I'm sorry if I'm being a little bit blunt. It's not my intention to be blunt. I'm just reading the cards. So again, this is me sending love to you if you're going through that. So yeah, it's like it's something like that. It's like with it says open, say yes, expand through the extremes and trust life. But it's looking to me like having a shower after doing the yard work, where it's like you've got like brambles stuck to you, you've got leaves in your hair, you've got dirt on your shoulder. What's that Linkin Park song? And then like having a wash, or I don't know, going to the cremation and feeling like I need to wash myself of this experience, or there's just being out in the garden and then like it suddenly starts raining and you feel like cleansed by the universe, something like this. But it's like through this process of sorting and clearing, and there could be some kind of financial loss as well. The 5 of Earth is normally some kind of financial loss, so it can be a job loss, or again the end of a contract, a job loss, or it could be you've had to cut your work hours and take a reduction in money or something like that. But it's like I'm seeing it as sorting and clearing. So like, you know, like getting rid of all paperwork, or, you know, throwing things away, because she's kind of like discarded this one. So I am seeing it as like cleansing your space, right? Getting, maybe again, if it's like an old relationship, it's like getting rid of their things, you know, putting the stuff in a box and telling them they can come and pick it up. It's in the garage, they can come and get it whenever they want, but you don't want it in the house anymore. You know, putting the old photos away that you've had on display, replacing them with photos of your kids, something like this. But it's like, once you've got rid of all this baggage, because it is coming through with the kind of fire as baggage, it's like you've got space to breathe, you've got space to be you again. Somebody had, in one of the, I wonder if it was Capricorn, in one of the readings this week, somebody had the empty room, and they had a similar thing of like, that person's gone now and the room's empty. So it's a similar kind of message there. I wonder if it ties into that reading at all. So yeah, the witness to me does sometimes talk about our ancestors, right? Our ancestors who love us, who are there for us. I actually had a dream just as I was falling asleep. Actually, I've got two things to talk to you about. dream wise. So I was just falling asleep, and in that kind of in between space, I do start to sometimes get psychic messages. And I saw my nana at the end of the bed. Now, she couldn't have been sat at the end of the bed because I've got like a metal railing, but she was sat on the end of my bed. And then there was a guy sat there. It's like nana changed, and there was this guy sat there. He's like a young man. He kind of he had a little bit of weight on him, and not like big, but I don't know. Look, and he had kind of like his shoulders were kind of sagged forward. He looked sad, but I didn't recognize him. I didn't feel like it was anyone I knew, but it was like Nana had brought him in. And then I had a dream that someone's sister was, well, in the dream it was my sister. My sister was telling me she was pregnant, but I don't have a sister. So somebody's sister could be saying, "Hey, I'm pregnant," which is lovely actually, which is, I think, part of the message, right, about cycles. And you end with this, like, we are nature, become grounded, embodiment, living in connection, and the world. So it's almost like, and peace as well. It's like coming to peace with the cycle of life. You know, we have a spring in our life, which is like when we have children, you know, the egg and the children, and we have, you know, or when we are children, then we have the summer of our life, which is like our peak years, and then the autumn or fall of our life, which is like, you know, our aging years, you know, like the sentimental years, and then, you know, the winter of our life, and understanding that this is something that comes in cycles, and it's natural and it's normal. Aging is normal. It's this idea of clearing space for the future generations to come in, right? So it does seem to be that this is something that you're coming to peace with, coming to terms with, finding some kind of inner kind of like, I'm okay with this, is what's happening there. I'm going to come back to that in a second. So the witness card does sometimes talk to me about the people who we love who have passed over and who are acting as our guides now. Similar to how my nana came in with this person, and, you know, my grandma's there on the table today. So yeah, it could have that feeling of feeling like you're being watched over, feeling like you're being witnessed, feeling like you're being observed, but of course also wanting, you know, your space and wanting your privacy sometimes, and closing the door on and saying, I need my own space right now, guides, you know, this is my time, something like that. Oh, I just realized my phone sat here. The song that was playing as I was setting up your reading was one of my favorite songs, and it's Nirvana, which is beautiful. The concept of Nirvana, right? It's like heaven, Nirvana, like a peace in the afterlife. So it's so perfect to the cards that are on the table, and it's the man who sold the world, and you've got the world card here as well. So I don't know if that's particularly symbolic for you, but it's one of my favorite songs. I really love it. It's the cover by Nirvana of a David Bowie song. So yeah, the witness, and then transmutation. So it's like this, there is something that is transforming for you. And I want to say it could be feelings perhaps of anger, if you've got any lingering kind of any kind of lingering resentment or anger or animosity with this person who seems to be leaving your life. It's I feel like what's being transmuted here with that phoenix energy is changing that fire into these two cards, which is peace and Nine of Cups, Nine of Water, Nine of Cups. So peace obviously is like making peace with this person, like you know, they're gone. And I think a lot of the time when people pass over, they are able to understand situations more fully, right? It's like they no longer have the worries that distract them in our 3D reality. So it's like they don't have to worry about paying bills, or you know, if they have got a body that's not working effectively for some sort of way, you know, that can affect your comprehension skills, your processing skills. If you're very, very stressed, this can affect your relationships with other people. So I think sometimes in the afterlife, I personally believe that all those kind of, like the 10 of Wands, right, all the responsibilities, all the burdens of our life are no longer applicable. We don't have to worry about that anymore. So being free from those 10 of Wands energies, it means that we can really get the higher perspective. You know, we come into peace in our passing. We find I don't know, it's like the winter, it's like the rest period, right, of our life, or of, I don't know, the afterlife, I guess. So it's like, I don't know, I just think people get a lot of clarity. I mean, this is my impression, and again, I've lost quite a few people recently. It's like people gain a lot of clarity. They're able to see more than they could when they were alive, right? They're able to, instead of having to stand face to face with someone and have a conversation to try and understand them, it's like they just understand the feelings better. They understand almost psychically what people are going through a lot better. So I think if you can have difficult relationships with people in life, and then in the afterlife, it's like those, they understand you better and they can show up for you in ways that they couldn't show up for you in real life. And this can be very confusing and conflicting, I think, as well, if you have had a difficult relationship in the living. But in the afterlife, I think it's kind of like, I'm hearing, I don't know if this is something that they would say, because this is not something I would normally say, and I'm hearing all the old scores are settled. So I don't know if that's a phrase that this person would say to you. All the old scores are settled. So peace, right? The dove of peace, making peace. But also, if you didn't get the closure that you needed while this person was alive, with the Nine of Cups, it's like inner peace, you know, peace and acceptance of situations as they are. It's like, this is how it was, and I make peace with that. And it's like, okay, maybe I didn't have the best relationship with this person. Okay, maybe I didn't get to say the things I wanted to say. Maybe I didn't get the closure that I needed. But because that situation, that door has closed, I have to find inner peace, right? That is not, there's like no strings attached to anyone else here. There's no abandonment issues, or there's no attachment issues. There's no clinginess or neediness. It's emotional independence. It's emotional strength from within, no matter what the outer conditions are. And this seems to be what you're transforming the more fiery energy into. So I want to say you are coming to some kind of inner peace. And then you have this forest, you have all this temple, right? You have all this forest temple, enlightenment and initiation of the Count Saint Germain. So it's like finding a new way of being. It's like finding a new way of living. So I don't know, it could even be you feel like you've been, with the Five of Earth, it's like you feel like you've been pushed out of a situation, or you feel like you've been abandoned by perhaps even a church or an organizational group or a family, something like this. There is this, the door is closed on you energy, which is of the Five of Earth. But it's like in processing this and coming into this beautiful inner equilibrium, you are having this kind of like new start. So I think you're approaching an energy of enlightenment. And again, this doesn't have to be a specific church, but it's kind of like an inner enlightenment, right? It's like an enlightenment of the soul, because like, look, her little heart's glowing here. And I want to say it's something to do with, it's almost like by being pushed out, by having this door closed on you, and by going into, it's like going into the forest, going into the garden, being closer to nature, understanding nature itself better, right? You know, the seasons better. You are coming into this really very, very beautiful kind of like higher understanding of of the laws of nature itself, and really finding it's like finding the peace with that, not fighting it, so yeah, and then it's becoming grounded again. So I think you perhaps have gone through this phase with this claim your independence. It's this feeling of like claiming your independence and not wanting to be seen. It's like you've been fighting to be alone. It's like you've been closing the door on others as well. But then it's like by finding yourself out in this, it's like by being shut out of one situation, it's like another door is opening and you're finding yourself surrounded by people who are companions to you. It's like you're finding a new supportive family of people who are like you. It's like you're being initiated into the new world, the new phase is the way it seems to be coming through. So, and it does, you've got this mending card as well. So I want to say you have been doing some processing where perhaps you've been mending, you're, you know, finding that inner peace with your own childhood, with things that happened in your childhood, with childhood relationships, or with your own children. Again, you could be doing something where by healing yourself, you're healing your relationship with your own children, right? By healing your relationship with your parents, you heal your relationship with your own children. Has anyone seen that video that's going viral at the moment? I've seen it in a couple of different places, and it's a family who are quite a big family, and they are celebrating Thanksgiving dinner, and they have all this beautiful food that, you know, the mother and maybe the auntie or something have been preparing. You know, they've probably spent all day working on this lovely food for their family, and unfortunately it appears that the dad and his son start to have a fight, and the dad is very he doesn't handle it brilliantly. You know, he's kind of that old-fashioned kind of typical patriarchal figure, and he's you know, he makes a joke at the son's expense. The son you know, seems to be a little bit more he seems to have like a kind of more caustic, dry sense of humor, and he's talking about like, I'm thankful for my Xbox, I'm thankful for Halo. And then you know, the dad and the son, they're different people, and they don't, you know, the situation just gets aggravated to the point where the son, and he's an adult son, he flips the table, and all this food that, you know, clearly the mum, who he's actually thanking for buying him an Xbox, you know, he's thanking the mum, and then he flips the table, you know, to spite his dad, and, you know, his mum's heartbroken, and everybody's picking up the food, and it's just horrible, right? It's like how, you know, something that should be a nice family situation that brings everybody together can turn, you know, people can fight, people can not, like I say, people can not get along. You know, we can be very different people who don't understand each other's perspectives. And yeah, perhaps this is similar to your experiences, right? I remember when my granny, she made Christmas dinner once, and there was sprouts, and she was really pressurizing me. This again is like where I have, you know, some animosity towards her. She was really pressurizing me, and I was quite young to eat these sprouts, and I remember trying to eat them, and I couldn't make them go down. It was like I was going to just vomit them back up. And you know, I felt like bullied, and I mean, I don't think she was trying to bully me, she was trying to nurture me, right, in the way that she understood. She was trying to get me to try new things and eat healthy vegetables and all these kind of things. But I quite a shy little girl who wasn't very good at standing up to myself, you know, and this is a memory, and I was really young, and it's a memory that's stuck with me, like not being able to swallow these sprouts. And I eat sprouts now, you know, as an adult, but you know, it's like those kind of situations and the kind of bad memories that we can have when we should be having good memories and things like that. So again, that could apply to you in some sort of way. But, you know, it is, you do have mending, you do have peace, and you do have this sense of closure and completion of that cycle, right? It's like, it was what it was. I understand it differently now that I'm an adult, perhaps. I've done that shadow work. I've mended my childhood the things that have stayed with me from childhood, I've kind of re-looked at those as an adult and re-understood them, and yeah, and then really coming to this completion. And maybe you have got some kind of better, maybe you've done something where you have more respect for nature now, like literally, like more respect for plants and the earth and the ecosystem. And maybe you are trying to heal the world in some sort of way and bring that inner peace that you've discovered, that inner peace and inner enlightenment, to the people around you, to the world, right? To maybe spreading the word about the importance of respecting our planet, something like that, and mending our planet. But again, you feel like, because there's two people on that mending card, and then with this card here, the initiation of the Count of Saint Germain, it has this feeling of like maybe really being initiated into a higher understanding, a higher enlightenment of a higher power. Perhaps you have some sort of person guiding you in this. Again, perhaps you've left, your family religion, the religion of your childhood, and you've found a religion that aligns with you better. And again, it could be something about the law of, just nature, putting God and the earth and the planet above other things. I don't know. That's kind of what I've got for you. It felt like an important reading. I really wanted to do it. You've got the beach as well. Maybe, I don't know, doing like a beach cleanup, something. Maybe there was a significant beach. I've been getting beach a lot this week. So I was getting that Beautiful Beaches song. Who's that by? It's like, I'm going down to those beautiful beaches. We'll take our chances, take our chances. I've been getting a lot of songs with beach references. So again, maybe somebody's going on vacation, traveling, moving to a beach. I don't know. Okay, let's get you a totem. If this reading is resonating for you, if you're like, yep, let's get you a totem for the next couple of days. Something to look out for. It may particularly mean something to you. It may not. Just make a note of it and see if it pops up for you over the next week. Okay, you've got the deer on the bottom. So that's, again, talking about the inner child, the vulnerable parts of yourself, and not denying the sweet, naive, innocent parts of yourself, like making space for that. The wizard. That's really funny. I had the Aleister Crowley deck out earlier, and it's like the Magus or something, the Magus kept on coming out. Maybe you're doing something that's quite pagan. Space, again, making space, creating space, getting a higher perspective. And the oak tree, oak tree, absolutely symbolic for me of very old-fashioned, very conservative, very traditional family trees. They're it's like because they're traditional, oak trees are symbolic of me, of like traditional people, patriarchal, kind of like Hierophant and Emperor energy. It's like, this is the way we've always done it, so this is the way we'll continue to do it. So it does talk about ancestry, tradition, all those kind of things. And it's like if you think about things like Thanksgiving and Christmas, and those kind of events, and again, you don't have to follow kind of Western religions, whatever aligns with you, right? But a lot of cultures have these traditions, like we sit down and we celebrate Christmas, we do Thanksgiving, we do bonfire night, depending on where in the world you live. And it's like through these group activities, through these rituals and kind of sacred practices that we do, we are supposed to bond, right? As a community, we are supposed to come together and create sturdy, supportive networks. It doesn't always work, like if you've seen that video that I was talking about, it doesn't always work. It's funny as well, at the end the guy's like, go Eagles. The brother or the cousin or whoever is filming it, he's like laughing at the absurdity of the whole situation. Again, like, and this girl goes to him, oh, grow up. And again, it's just different people reacting to situations and just being on a different page. I don't know if there's something to that as well. It's making me think of the song, it goes, I'm the kind of guy that laughs at a funeral, can't understand what you mean, you soon will. When my nana passed away this year, my dad, the way he was dealing with it was joking. So we were sat there in the funeral hall with the family around us, and he was going to me, oh, we should have put a mobile phone under the flowers on the coffin and rang it. He's like making these really dark jokes. So I know where I get it from. And then we were both sat there and looking at this like sat there side by side, trying to be all serious and because we loved Nana. You know, it was his mum. It was my Nana. She's this very, very lovely woman. We loved her. We were sad that she'd passed, but again, she was 90 something. We understand the cycles of nature. Yes, it's like, it's sad, and you can accept it at the same time, you know. And you don't have to be miserable. You can, would the person who passed on want you to be miserable? Maybe they'd want you to be respectful, but they wouldn't want you to be sad. I don't know. There's a lot of expectations, and you know, difference between expectations and what feels right on a personal level. Again, you've got this thing about not wanting to be seen. So yeah, me and my dad were sat there in the funeral hall, and there was a little stand with some flowers on, but it was off center, and we were both sat there looking at it for ages, like just desperately wanting to like put it back on center, because it was like right in front of us as well. It was really irritating. So right at the end, where we were getting up, and we were like, thank you to the ushers, we like fixed it. I was like, Dad, stop. Yeah, but it's, I don't know, that's a funny moment. That's a happy memory that I have with my dad from a sad time. So I don't know, there's a lot of that. But anyway, the oak tree, yeah, it does talk about, though, of because an oak tree has oak seeds, like acorns, and you know, it does talk about being sturdy and keeping hold of those traditions that we've inherited, but also allowing the cycles of nature to take place, and you know, the new generations to adapt and change those to fit in with an ever-changing world, right? So I don't know, there's a lot there. I really like the symbolism of the oak tree. And maybe, I don't know, tie a yellow ribbon around the old oak tree. Maybe somebody really liked that song. That's kind of coming through for me. But again, it's whatever. Maybe you planted an oak tree to remember this person. Maybe you want to do that. Let's get you a song. So, significant song, please, for whoever this reading is resonating for. I'm sorry, I don't mean to sound bored. It's getting a bit late. Didn't expect to do this reading. Mirrorball by Taylor Swift. I love this song. I want you to know I'm a mirror ball. I'll show you every version of yourself tonight. I'll get you out on the floor, shimmering beautiful, and when I break, it's in a million pieces. Hush, when no one is around, my dear. You'll find me on my tallest tiptoes, spinning in my highest heels. Love, shining just for you. Hush, I know they said the end is near, but I'm still on my tallest tiptoes, spinning in my highest heels. Love, shining just for you. I want you to know I'm a mirror ball. I can change everything about me to fit in. You are not like the regulars, the masquerade revelers, drunk as they watch my shattered edges glisten. And then it repeats. And they called off the circus and burned the disco down when they sent home the horses and the rodeo clowns. I'm still on that tightrope. I'm still trying everything to get you laughing at me. And I'm still a believer, but I don't know why. I've never been a natural. All I do is try. I'm still on that trapeze. I'm still trying everything to keep you looking at me. Because I'm a mirror ball, and I'll show you every version of yourself tonight. I love that song so much. I'm going to listen to that when I end the reading. So I hope this was really, really helpful to you. I do feel like I should probably get you some specific advice. Let me just see what I've got. Spinning on my highest tiptoes. Do you know what? Let's get Angels Among Us. Feels fitting if I can find it. Where are you? I might just have to pause to find it. Hold on. Okay, so just in case you're wondering what decks I'm using, quite a lot of Collect Baron Reed decks. The battery died on my phone, which I feel is very symbolic. I wasn't quick enough. Yeah, so I'm using Collect Baron Reed decks, quite a few of those. Also the Akashic Tarot and Denise Lynn's Sacred Forest, and then this is Angels Among Us, I think. Oh, and this is the Rose Tarot. The Rose Tarot particularly talks to me about the Rose Oracle deck, sorry. It does talk to me about ancestry, especially feminine ancestry. It's like surrounded by, you know, your mother, your aunts, your sisters. It has that kind of feel to it. So again, you've got this feeling of like people gathering around in some sort of way at the end of your reading. Okay, so you've got Goddess Gaia, very, very typical here. We are nature and the world and all that kind of stuff. So Goddess Gaia, Mother Nature, the provider, the elements. Goddess Isis, resurrection, magic and fertility. And my favorite, Archangel Michael, truth, protection and clarity. So very, very nice card you've got there. Let's have a quick scan at what these all mean to you and if these are giving you any kind of advice. Michael. Archangel Michael or Saint Michael is one of the most well-known and revered angels. Again, don't worry too much about, we've got a mix of different belief systems here, so don't worry too much about, you know, like you don't have to kind of resist anything or accept anything. Just take it as a, just general advice, right? It's, I don't know. Take it as you want to take it. You don't have to take it how I tell you to take it. Don't take it at all. I don't know. He's one of the most well-known and revered angels. His name means he who is like God, and he is mentioned in the religious texts of the Christian, Jewish, and Islamic faiths. He is referred to as a warrior, leader, and great captain. Archangel Michael is a powerful protector and is the one to call upon whenever you need to feel safe, protected, or want to muster up some courage. The Oracle. You are stronger than you know, and you have reserves of strength you haven't accessed yet. Whatever is going on in your life now, you have got this. Okay, let's read Goddess Isis. Goddess Isis is considered to be one of the most important and powerful goddesses of ancient Egypt, a goddess of fertility and feminine power. Goddess Isis is also known as the goddess of the moon, life, magic, and power. She is known as a healing goddess who can heal the sick and as a protector of women and children. So you've got two protector energy. I really see Archangel Michael as well as a protector of children, and you've got children on this card here. So double children protection, basically. According to the Osiris myth, Goddess Isis was so powerful that she was able to resurrect her husband Osiris after he was killed. Goddess Isis is also known as the goddess of queenship and is often seen with the symbol of a throne above her head. The Oracle. Stand in your power, go for what you want and make it happen. Sit on the throne of your own life. And there's this gorgeous, I love the diversity of this deck. Like look how hot they all are. Like, look at this hipster Archangel Michael, like such a daddy. And then like, look at how beautiful she is. Like, just absolutely gorgeous artwork. And then like, look at her, she's just stunning. Like, I love it. So who does the artwork of this? Illustrated by Ellie Grant. Really nice artist. Goddess Gaia. I sometimes say Gaia and sometimes I say Gaia. I'm not actually sure. I'm sorry if that's bothering you. Goddess Gaia is the personification of the great Earth Mother. And you've got all this eco energy here. She is the energy of Mother Nature. It's making me think of that Tayla Parx song. Gaia has always been worshipped around the world since time immemorial. Goddess Gaia is our ultimate provider. She is the air we breathe, the earth we stand on, the water we drink, and the fire that warms us. She is our planet, our home, and she is us. The Oracle. You are always provided for by the great Earth Mother. Whenever you feel lacking, look outside and you will find abundance all around you. And you do seem to be finding some comfort in nature there as well. I don't know if it's significant to you that you've got 3 of each card here. Maybe, I mean, the oak tree and Goddess Gaia could particularly resonate for you. I don't know, maybe I put them that way around. I don't know, take it as you will. Yeah, take it if it resonates, leave it if it doesn't. The song that I was thinking about was, I think it's called Mother Nature. I can't look it up because I'm on my other phone right now, but I think it's called Mother Nature by Tayla Parx. So I'll try and remember to put that in the description box for you as well with your other songs. You can go and check those out. Again, sending much love your way if you are grieving, and there's no right or wrong way to grieve. However you process is you know, process in your own way, process in the way that it suits you. You know, when my granddad died, I got so drunk. I got like, and I don't normally necessarily always drink, you know, like I've always been a drinker, but I've never really been like blackout drunk, and this was like blackout drunk. Yeah, I had a lot to drink last night as well because it was my mum's birthday. My mum died at Christmas this year, just gone, so it's not even been a full year yet. And so you know, approaching Christmas again, when the first Christmas without my mum, and it was just a birthday a few days ago as well. So yeah, definitely fell back on old vices, but I'm not beating myself up for it. That is how I needed to process in that moment. It was the only way I was capable of processing in that moment. And you know, if it's a one-off, it's a one-off. And yeah, this is the thing, like we all have different coping mechanisms. Why am I getting Tayla Parx songs? That's her album. It's coping mechanisms. So we all have different coping mechanisms, and however we process is it's important to allow it and forgive ourselves for it, and also, you know, take steps to make the healthy choices, because we know the right things and wrong things to do. We do. So yeah, I'm going. Take care of yourselves. I hope this video was really helpful to you. It was really, really trying to come through. So I guess somebody really needed it. And yeah, love yourselves. And you're doing amazing. You're doing perfectly. You're right where the universe needs you to be right now. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.